Last night before I went to bed, I was throwing some trash in my closet because that's where I keep my trash. And Yuna must have snuck in there. And I couldn't see her because she's black. And so she was stuck in there. And I just heard her and she was crying and I feel so bad. So I just bought ingredients to make lasagna for tonight, and funny thing, I was in line waiting to pay, and I look at the lady behind me in line, and I look at what she bought, and she was making the exact same thing. Of course, my ingredients looked better. She only had like two, like, I don't know. You'll see all the ingredients. I still haven't cleaned my house. I've been very lazy. I'm gonna get up and do that now because I'm gonna have Crystal and Claudia over, and I don't want to cook in a dirty house, and it's already bothering the hell out of me. I bought Jennifer Lopez's CD today, so it's pretty much all I'm gonna listen to. Okay, so I was supposed to have a helper, but I don't. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this off by myself and make some lasagna. Tosha likes to watch me cook. Hey, Tosha. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily look appetizing right now, but what you want to do is take your two things of meat, your whatever type of sausage that you're using. Like I said, in this case, it's turkey. I showed a pork sausage package because I plan on making breakfast with that. Because, well, okay, the turkey package was kind of ugly looking and it didn't look nice on camera, so sue me. And then there we got the 2 cloves of garlic minced. So we're just going to brown it and mix it all together thoroughly. Alright, can't stress this enough. Make sure you go ahead and sanitize your hands, soap and everything like that. And wash your utensils if you're going to use them again for something else. Because you don't want to get sick from nasty shit. Oh, and there's another thing that I forgot to add. You need 2 eggs. That's for later. I'll show you in a bit. For the turkey sausage, either or, if you use the pork or the turkey, I use a spicy turkey sausage or a spicy pork sausage. It gives it such a better flavor, so that way you don't have to add pepper flakes or anything like that. I'm a Mexican, so you don't really taste it in the lasagna, but it's still good. Sorry, I am a horrible. This is my first cooking video, so. There's the 2 eggs, and then the green onions is for you to chop up and put into the sauce. That I'm going to show you in a bit. After this browns, it gets all delicious. But I'm pretty sure that's all of the ingredients. I didn't forget anything else. I've only made lasagna twice, 2 other times. So I'm still trying to get my recipe down. I've never used the green onions before, but I'm going to use them this time. And so yeah, I apologize if this is a little scattered. Okay, while we wait for the meat to get more brown, I'm going to go ahead and start chopping the green onions. You can chop them as fine or as thin as you want because they're going to break down in the sauce. I already went ahead and opened up the paste and the tomatoes, so that way we can just dump it all in there. Yeah, so you get these cut up, and then you're going to dump these in here. Then, and only then you put the 2 pastes, and then you put the tomato sauce, and then on top of on top of these tomatoes, you're gonna put the parsley and the basil. Okay? It smells amazing. Don't mind my ugly ass pot, but it smells really good. I went ahead and added a teaspoon of salt because I tasted it and it was a little bland. So a teaspoon of salt and that's it. Okay? And now we're gonna add the paste and the tomatoes, followed by the parsley and the basil. Okay, so I got the paste, the tomatoes, the basil, and the parsley. Now, instead of the 2 tablespoons of basil, I put 1 because I'm going to put the other one in the ricotta cheese later. And as far as the other teaspoon as well of the parsley flakes, I'm going to put in there. So make sure you mix this really well, and then you're going to simmer it uncovered for 45 minutes. Bring your water to a boil, so I'm going to wait for that to do that. And then once we get the noodles in, we're going to go ahead and start on the ricotta cheese mixture. Okay, so we have this, we're going to have this whole thing. I got a bowl here. You want to whip your eggs, so beat them in a separate bowl. Then don't forget about your basil and your parsley, a tablespoon of each, and you're gonna want a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. I find it easier to make like a little volcano in the middle, like a little crevice, and then put the egg in there. And then the rest on it as well, and then you can mix it. Okay, this is what it should look like. So very, yeah, I'm a little shaky, but that's what it should look like. So put that in the fridge, and then we're still waiting for the water to boil, and we're still simmering here. We've got 28 minutes left. As far as the cooking of the noodles, that's pretty much, you can do it however you want. Sorry about that. You can cook them al dente, preferably al dente. That way they cook a little better and you have a little more stable lasagna. So now that we've got that in there, we're gonna obviously cook them, and that's still there. I don't know if it looks any different, but it tastes better. It's gonna taste better and better and better as it gradually sits in that pot and simmers, trust me. So I'm waiting for the noodles to get to the right consistency that I want, and then the sauce is almost done. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start assembling everything. Now we're just waiting. Oh yeah, and I'm still waiting for my friends. So I was just watching what I recorded, and I showed the whole entire like ingredients list before I started cooking, but apparently that didn't record. So I'm going to make sure and put the recipe in the description, so that way you know how many ounces, how many tablespoons, how many teaspoons that actually go into this. So our sauce is done. This is what it looks like. 45 minutes of, probably looks like nastiness, but it's really good. Let's taste it. See where, because I tasted it when I first started all together. Now I'm gonna taste it. Yeah, that's freaking amazing. Okay, so while we wait for that to cool down, we're gonna go ahead and get our little station ready so we can assemble everything into the pan. Now, I put the noodles in cold water so you can, touch them with your fingers. That's the only time I recommend putting noodles in cold water ever, and water ever after you cook them. Okay? Okay, so what I did here is I overlapped the noodles. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be absolutely beautiful. Just make sure you cover around the edges. Make sure the noodles kind of overlap a little bit, all right? Awesome. So now we're gonna add a layer of the ricotta cheese. It's a really thin layer. You can make it prettier than that because my layer is kind of ugly. But the first layer usually is, because the noodles are sliding around. So after that, you're gonna add a layer of your sliced cheese, depending on what kind of cheese you bought. Like I said, I got 2 different kinds because I wanted it to be super duper cheesy. And then now I'm gonna cut up the mozzarella to add another layer, and then you're gonna add the sauce on top, and then start all over again. So it looks like shit right now, but putting it into the oven at 350 for about 30 minutes, and then it'll be deliciousness. Claudia came. Someone came. Claudia actually showed up.
He's magnificent. I love you, puppy. I love you, puppy. And I'm a puppy.
It's my J-Lo. That lasagna though. Now, we're gonna have to let it set for 20 minutes because if you cut it now, it's gonna be all sloppy and disgusting. And we're cute, so we don't do that. So right now, we're gonna go get wine and come back.
Kesha.
All right. Served next to a beautiful Caesar salad. You can see the layers. It's not pretty, but it's pretty enough, and you're gonna end up eating it and shoving it down your face anyways. Has a lot of cheese, which is pretty damn amazing. So ciao. So that was that. You see Willem in the background. They're snatch. But yum. Okay, bye. See you tomorrow.